All right. Thought I'd make another update video. Not a lot has changed. I mean, nothing super major. It's still more test fitting stuff. But this is what I'm at right now. So I got the frame notched on both sides. This is for the S10 4.3 or Blazer 4.3 radiator. The stock Corvette one right there is they lean. I don't know if you saw the last video. There's a shroud that leans too far forward, and then obviously you get the height gets lower because it's at an angle versus straight up and down. And I can't have that obviously with the turbos being there. I'll explain what I did there as well, but the 4.3 radiator is just slightly wider, obviously make up for surface area than it is tall, but it fits. Just notch it out right at the seam because they're butted together. So notched out, box them in, and then sprayed them so they don't rust. And then it slid in there, and then I have the rubber mounts down there. I got rid of the whole fiberglass shroud. I don't think you can even see that. Nope, can't. No way. But there's the little rubber holders that were on that shroud. It is right here. You can see where they sat. And I cut those out and then glued them in place there. So the radiator has some dampening sitting on that frame, and then I was able to push it further back too, so it gives me more room for the turbos. The stock length of these headers, I think some may be different because I see some guys running, generic like eBay headers too, and then there's obviously the known, or not the no name, but the actual name brand ones, and they seem to be, some seem to be short, some seem to be long, like on the edges. Like some of them will actually just have the V-band right there. But the ones that they had like a little extension, and then the V-bands up here. They were too long. Didn't matter what I did. And I kind of wanted them to be longer because I gave them a little bit more room between the accessories. But my intake elbows, the silicone elbows, would not fit. They kept in the radiator. So, and these are actually still pretty tight. I mean, I still got a little bit of room between them, about an inch and about a half an inch. I could easily just cut off the end just slightly and bring them in more, but I'm not too worried about it. But the only problem is now is, you see the bottom of this is cut off because I'm going to be running a Volvo power steering pump, electric one, so I don't need the actual power steering pump. So this should be fine. I can actually lower this a little bit more. This bolt down here is in the way, but I can actually slightly lower it more. I don't want to, but I could actually make that work. I could actually still notch up like a little curve up here, and then down pipe would go right across the block underneath, because there's space underneath the block and in between. See if you can see better. Can't really see it very well down there across the block. So they'll tuck underneath these headers. Same with this one. I'm gonna run into some issues with here. It's gonna be too tight to that neck. I'm actually gonna replace that neck with a swivel one, and then swivel it down, and I'll go underneath this cross beam, and then to the radiator. So that's not gonna be a problem. This will be. So I'm gonna see what other options are for tensioner pulleys. I may either get a different one for this location, or I might find one that goes like tighter to the block, and then I have it down there since I have quite a bit of room now. Just eliminate that idler pulley up here, and then I'll create more room to again run it the same spot, just like the driver's side for the downpipe. So that shouldn't be a problem. We'll see how cool it stays. It's an aluminum block 5.3, and the radiator, I believe, is a 1-row core. This is the 1-inch style. I know they make an HD version for the 4.3 Blazers and stuff. I went to the junkyard, I could not find one, so I need to do more research to see if there's like a specific RPO option to where they came out of, because those are 2-row. And then of course, yeah, the fans will come up a little bit further, but I still pretty sure I have enough room, because obviously it's gonna go back and forward because it's going to be centered. So I think this is the 1-inch one, and the HD one that came in some Blazers were an inch and 3/8. So it's not going to be that big of an issue. So we'll see how cool it keeps. If it gets a little warm, I don't think it will, since these fans are pretty good size. Then we can always just switch out to a 2-row, or I can just order one. I think they run like $60 or $70 brand new. So that would be a deal, but I'd like to do junkyard stuff for the fact that this is a budget build, so I'm trying my best. My AC box, it's close, but I did make a indent that goes back about 3/4 inch. It's hard to really see in here, but it is tight. That's just sagging right now, so when you bolt it up, it'll go further away from the header and also up. So the header's going to be wrapped, as well as the box here is going to have heat shielding. And if it's still too close, I think I'll just take out those headers and just bash that side in a little bit and bring it in. And if worst case, I'll just recut that back out and put a deeper dish into it, and we should be fine. But it's fiberglass. I put some ABS plastic in there, plastic glued it, and then fiberglassed it inside and outside, sand it down, spray paint it. Be a whole hour and a half work, 2 hours work, basically. So, what else? So, oh yeah, the master cylinder, obviously, gonna run into problems. Brake booster, gotta get a different one too. The brake booster on these are, I think, like a 9 or 10 inch. I think they're a 9 or 10. Obviously it hits the headers. I'm going to go with a aftermarket 7-inch brake booster, possibly. They're cheap enough to where if it doesn't work, I'm not out much money. But I also got a master cylinder from, this is from a Buick Regal, one of the 3800s. I think it was actually from a Super Terz one. Not that it matters, but the brake connections are on the opposite side. So obviously I'll have to get brake lines that go to the block, which I'll get rid of this and do T-fittings in here. There's a write-up on how to get rid of the ABS block and do T-fittings, because this car, obviously, it's already been ABS removed, or it's going to be ABS deleted, because I really don't want the extra weight, don't need it. So then I'll put this in here. It should fit kind of like that, and then the connections will run down there, and then run the same path all the way there. So did that. We'll see if that works. Hopefully it will. And then we should be good there. The inlets are going to both, there's going to be 2 filters. Going to be one there and a filter over there. So we get nice cool air coming in. Intercooler, plan is to run it down here, flat across. The twin turbo ones, you see it here too. Just going to lay it in there. And then I'm going to get there's a company that makes, I think they're called C4 big mouth inlets, and they go on the front bumper. It gets rid of that shroud, and then you can see where the air comes in. Those are where the rails go. It boxes this out into a big sheet metal frame inside, and it allows more air, because these cars do suffer from getting air, obviously, into the front, because there is no main inlet on these things. So it does do that, and then it should bring in more air. These fans should be able to pull through the intercooler as well as the radiator, and then we'll see the temperatures you get. Again, these are small turbos, not gonna be a lot of boost. I don't think I'm running any more than 14 pounds. It's probably gonna be like a 10 PSI setup on these, and then see what I do with that. But other than that, that's about it. Yeah, that's what I got so far. There's so much shit. I'm gonna try to reuse the shroud that came with it. That's fiberglass. And what I'm going to do is set it in there, see if it works, and if it's close, obviously I'm going to have to cut it, and then I'll make a L shape and with fiberglass it. There is the old AC condenser, and what the hell do you call it? I'm not very good with AC systems. My dad's actually certified to do that stuff, so I'm going to just ask him what the hell needs to be connected, and then he's going to take care of the rest and get that all situated, but that'll be after it runs and stuff. So yeah, that's it. Next plan is to figure out what accessories. I'm going to try to route in some hot piping stuff, and then figure out what I need to change. And then once I figure out what I need to change, then I will pull the motor out and get that built, clean the heads up, put different springs in it, lap the valves, do all that stuff. And then once that's done, I got to get the flat flywheel, because I have a 4L80 that's going in this. It's over there with all the kids' toys. We had a birthday party, so I have a bunch of shit still over here that needs to be hung back up. And then obviously get all that stuff back in here. Buddy of mine's got, these are just tack welded. Buddy of mine is going to hopefully weld these, so they should be good to go. And then yeah, that's it. Got to find a couple radiator hoses from the junkyard and run a couple and see where I want to do it. I think what I'm going to do, obviously, like I said, I'm just going to do the neck off that, go under there for the inlet, and then the return. Obviously, if I have to go with the LS1, like F body one, it's going to come out here, and then I can go whoop, right to the rad, and then come around. Otherwise, if this works, then a normal Silverado one should work. Otherwise, I can find something. Well, that's minor details, easy enough. There's plenty of shit out there. So, yeah, that's it. Hopefully the next update will it be hopefully all this stuff finished up, and then I'm hoping that I can get the wiring and stuff all labeled. This is the harness for like the headlights and a lot of the AC stuff that I need to figure out where it's going. It's got a lot of sensors because the old that's not even in here. The AC HVAC control stuff is it has a bunch of sensors on it that say like the outside temperature and then what the temperature should be inside the car. I don't need that. I'm going to try to find something that's just standard, basically AC on, and then just run it. So I'll have to wire that through here and create my diagram, but I'm gonna have to build the LS harness into this to clean everything up, which is fine. I'm building my own harness. I have multiple times, and then just running the PO1 ECU, and yeah, then once we get the flywheel on there, then what I can do is I gotta put the HD2 kit in there, or partially put the HD2 kit in there, and use that, bolt it on, and then create my frame, or not the frame, the piece to connect to the C-beam on this, as there is no cross member for the transmission. It's connected by C-beam, it's like the early version of the torque tube. Basically, everything rides on that C-beam, and then the drive shaft is right next to it, but it's just engine cradle and then diff. There is nothing in between other than a C-beam and a drive shaft. So yeah, that's it. Hopefully, if you guys have any questions, let me know. And then hopefully we can get it figured out and get it further on. I got to start painting. I'm going to start painting, keep going. This will hopefully be a spring project. I want to get this car painted by summer, or at least midsummer. That way it's just kind of done, and then I can also start with the roll cage and get the interior stuff. So a lot to do. We'll figure it out. Thanks.